Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 50. I now have to wear readers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I've never had to wear glasses until I turned 50. Okay, I'm going to read you something from the Untethered Soul because this is everything that I am moving through, that I have spoken about. And here we go. Letting go means falling behind the energy instead of going into it. It just takes a moment of conscious effort to decide that you're not going there. You just let go. It's simply a matter of taking the risk that you are better off letting go than going with the energy. When you're free from the hold the energy has on you, you will be free to experience the joy and expansiveness that exists within you. So you decide to use your life to free yourself. Voila, voila, that's what I'm doing to free myself. You become willing to pay any price for the freedom of your soul. You will realize that the only price you have to pay is letting go of yourself. Voila. Only you can take the inner freedom away from yourself or give it to yourself. Nobody else can. It doesn't matter what others do unless you decide that it matters to you. So, hold on, I'm going to read one more thing. You don't fight the mind. Remember, I was talking about it in this video. You don't fight the mind. In fact, you don't even try to change it. You just make a game out of relaxing into the face of its melodrama. You simply learn how to release the tendency for getting drawn into the energy. You just commit to not letting the energy draw you in. And no matter how many times you're pulled, that's how many times you relax and release, because the tendency to get drawn in is constant, and the willingness to let go and fall behind has to be constant. Your center of consciousness is always stronger than the energy that is pulling it. You just have to be willing to exercise your will, but it's not a fight or a struggle. It's not that you are trying to stop these energies from coming up inside. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with feeling the energies of fear, jealousy, or attraction. It's not your fault that such energies exist. All the attractions, repulsions, thoughts, feelings don't make any difference. They don't make you pure or impure. They are not you. You are the one who's watching, and that one is pure consciousness. Don't think you'll be free if you just didn't have these feelings, okay? It's not true. I added, okay. If you can be free, even though you're having these kinds of feelings, then you are really free, because there will always be something. Voila! This is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I read this like years ago, maybe in 2017, 18, I can't even remember. And it's so funny how I just happened to pick it up again because I was like, I don't know, I need something. And then it was like, boom, it gave me exactly what I've been moving through. And this is what's so interesting. So I landed in this sublet. I don't know if you've listened to this video. I'll link it. I didn't know where I was going. Remember, I was talking about all the feelings, and it's not about pushing them. It's just like what he's saying, but I'm using my life because it's one thing to read something, but it's a whole different experience when you actually apply it to your life and you're actually living through something pretty major that you're applying it to, right? So how this happened was the day that I was supposed to leave the cat sit, I didn't know where I was going. I had sent a bunch of messages to various sublet places. There was one in particular, this place, that here was the real thing, okay? I only had a limited amount of money, which also added another stress level to this whole situation. I had a limited amount of money in my account, and I was waiting for this check that I was told through my bank was going to be cashed either the next day or the day after, or whatever. And so I just was very straightforward with this girl, and I said, listen, I have enough to stay at your place for one night. Can I stay one night? And then, if all goes well, I'll just book the rest of the days or whatever. I think it was for 5 days, right? And so I didn't hear anything from her. And when something really beautiful happened when I said the truth, or when I wrote the truth, which is I started to cry, because I really believe that I'm breaking free of a strong coping mechanism, which I again, I've used my whole life, which is that suppressing emotion. I didn't know I was doing it. I didn't know I would numb out, but I was always pretty calm as a kid because of the dynamic in my family. So, and I've mentioned it in this video before, what I've learned through this whole journey of like letting it all come up is that there's been years and years and years of just suppressing so many feelings and emotions. So when I started to cry, I was like, oh, good. This is the truth. You know what I mean? It felt like I was trying really hard to hold it all together, even though he's saying you fall behind it. You also have to feel it. So, long story short, I didn't hear from her, but that morning that I was supposed to leave, I just woke up and I was like, okay, stop checking your phone. Trust everything is working out. And I just trusted, and I went to this cafe, and the thing that I do that is really helpful is I've been journaling every single day since I started this whole journey because it's a wild roller coaster of a ride, right? So what I do is in times where I feel a little out there, extreme, right? I'll look back from a year ago, I'll read my journals, and then from 6 months ago, and it's so helpful because I see how much I've grown. And I'm also training my subconscious mind to see all the times that things worked out. Because when you're in a state of fight or flight and fear, the mind is only throwing you worst case scenarios, like you're not going to have a place, blah, blah, blah. So then I'm showing my subconscious as I'm reading my own journals, my own words through my own experiences, all the times that everything has worked out in the past. So I start to feel a sense of calm, and I start to really relax, almost like what he's talking about, like falling behind everything and really just allowing everything to exist without judging it, right? So I'm starting to feel good. It's around 2 in the afternoon. I still don't know where I'm going to be sleeping. I decide, okay, I feel calm. I'm going to look at my messages, and I see a message from her, and she was like, I can show you the place, at 3 or something like that. And I was like, and she didn't say anything yet about the whole check not clearing or something like that. And so I was like, okay. So I just decided, and this is the first time I've done this, where the first time to like say okay to something without seeing it first. Cause I mean, pictures can be one thing, but you never know, like the neighborhood and this and that. But I was like, whatever. So I bring my suitcase, I come over here, and I really had a feeling as long as like we're in person, I can tell her the story of the truth, and she can meet me, and I think it'll all work out, right? But I was still nervous. So anyways, met her. Turns out she's works in music. She's got guitars. She's got a keyboard. It was just like, I was like, oh, this is cool, right? And so I said, I can pay you for tonight, but I do, like I mentioned, have this check that's supposed to be clearing maybe tomorrow, whatever. Can I pay you the rest? She's like, yeah, no problem. She gives me the keys. And I was like, oh my God, here I am. Here we are. I have a place. Yes, yes, yes. And this area is amazing. I'm staying in the 20th arrondissement, which is like so cool. It's so artsy. I've never even experienced this whole area, which is kind of the fun aspect of living the way that I am. I get to see all these different areas. It's like I'm a tourist again, And so anyways, and it's very, very, how do I want to say? It's like, it's got its own energy and vibe. Tons of really cool cafes and stores and tons of like street art. And it's really, really cool. So the next day, I get a message from her, and she's like, can you send me the rest of the money? And I was like, okay. I look at my bank, the check hasn't been posted yet. And I was like, okay. So I went through a whole bunch of stuff emotionally. Because like the passage says, I have to feel this stuff, right? It's not about suppressing it. It's about feeling it. And the other piece here that I want to mention is it's easy to just, let's say, ask a friend or ask somebody, hey, can I borrow this money, pay you back on this day when the money comes through? Like do all of these, like playing chess to alleviate feeling so uncomfortable. And the truth is, you are robbing yourself of a true, authentic moment to purge out all the contrast, which again this is built over time. It's not just about this one circumstance. This is about every single time in the past, in my opinion, so what I feel all of this is about is being good. So I've had this identity that I think I'm a good person, and I've been a good girl my whole life. I've always paid all my bills on time. I've always had money. I've never had negative balances. I've always paid my credit cards. On and on. So what I've been dismantling is this good girl image around, can I be deserving of grace even though I don't have the money up front, to pay for the rest of these nights? Like, can I be given grace? Can I be, given opportunities? Can I receive abundance and love and, etc. If I'm not good, if I'm late with this, or if I don't have the money here, or whatever it is, right? So there's all this breaking free. And so what was coming up for me was, I'm bad. How dare I not have the money to give to this person? So all my power was like depleted from me, because I had this like tremendous fear around, this is what was fascinating, around her coming back and like grabbing all my things and throwing me out on the street. Or I thought she was going to call the cops. Like, it was real. It was real. So that night, like, every single person that I would hear, in fact, the door knocked, somebody knocked on this door, and my whole body went into, like, I was shaking. I literally thought she called the cops on me, and I was going to be out. And here's the thing, fear is not rational. It's not rational. So no matter how much you try to tell yourself, like, that's absurd and ridiculous, you can't. You have to actually just feel it. So the knock is at the door, and I'm totally scared. I'm like, who is it? And of course it was just an Amazon package. It was not a big deal. So what happened was I told her the truth again. I said, listen, the check still isn't cashed yet, but I promise you I will pay you back. I even sent her like a screenshot again. I was like, so, like, please, can you just let me stay? I'm good for it. I'm good for it, right? She didn't respond. And so her not responding also kicked up this additional fear of, like, I don't know what she's thinking. And So I had to move through all of that. That night was, incredibly, I was purging a lot of stuff, and, and then the mind also tries to, like, go, well, where is this coming from? And how did you learn that if you're bad, you don't get to receive? And I mean, it's everywhere in our culture, right? It's like, how dare this person get away with this? They're not deserving because they're bad. It's like such a ego thing to, like, have these two extremes. Like, you're bad, so you don't deserve a chance or grace or love or anything. And you're good, so it's all bullshit. Anyways, the next day I had a tour. And I give Emily in Paris walking tours, which was something that totally came to me, which I'm very grateful for. And I actually really love. It's become this thing that is, like, been this thing that I look forward to. I love meeting new people. I love sharing my passion for the city. I love, even the show, like, just talking it through. And I add all these, like, really cool stories about my life. And I really make it inspiring and fun. And by the end, people are applauding, excuse me, people are applauding and taking selfies with me. And it's just so rewarding. And so I make tips. But not everybody tips, and mostly it's, anywhere from 20 euros to 50 euros. And on this particular day, I was like, can I manifest 100 euros in tips today? Because if I manifest that, then I can send her, more money, and I will feel more comfortable. But also it was more about, can I play with, even though I have all of these contrasting thoughts, right? Can I still kind of receive abundance, right? It was sort of like, because the universe, it's all about, it's both and. It's not like, let me get rid of these feelings, right? Like he's talking about, let me just push them down, and then I'm creating a whole stream of abundance to come through. It's like, no, you allow it all. You let it all without judging it and without trying to make sense of it. You just allow it, right? So I go to the tour, and I'm in a great mood, and I'm so happy, la la la. By the end, everybody's, clapping, da da da. And guess how much I made? 100 euros. I was like, oh, I also forgot to mention this. On the way to the tour, I was on the metro, and I was like, I started to feel the feelings, and I was like going like this. I mean, no, just stay open, let it all pass through, right? And just as I had that thought, I was like, it's okay. Like, even though I feel afraid, I can still receive abundance. Even though I feel, uncertain, I can still receive grace. I will still be able to stay in this apartment, all those things. Like, even though I feel this, so you're not trying to get rid of it, you're just accepting it, both and, right? Having all these thoughts, and I look over and I see this guy, and he's got 6 fingers on each hand. And I was like, what? 6 fingers on each hand? Like, what? And I just, in that moment, like, it knocked me out of like whatever was going on inside me. And it just made me feel like, stop looking at what is and thinking that is real, right? There was something about seeing this man's 6 fingers on his hand that made me realize, like, there's so much more to this reality that's beyond your senses. And so just be open. Be open to all of it, to the extraordinary in what feels like the ordinary. And so I don't know, that just really, it made me lean back and go, everything's going to be fine. I know that sounds silly, but it really did, right? It's all about what you make things mean. And seeing this guy with 6 fingers, it gave me like, oh, I'm lucky today. And so that's what made me go, let's see if I can make 100 euros. And then boom, made 100 euros, sent her the money. Then she responds and she's like, oh, okay, thank you so much. And you can pay me the rest when you leave. I'm like, amazing, awesome, great. So that's where we are right now, and I'm leaving here tomorrow, and I don't know where I'm headed, but one thing I will tell you is I have spent all this time thinking, or at least the mind keeps telling me this, that this is creating a new possibility out there, when really this is about a new possibility is opening up within me. That's what this is all about. It's about something wonderful, something great, something glorious is opening up within me. And it just keeps opening and opening and opening, where I can hold space for all of it without judging it, without feeling guilty. And then when I do feel those feelings, I just know that it's about purging them out. And the other interesting thing is, the reason why I think all of this is happening so much, like, if you think about it, I just came back to Paris on middle of September, and it's only been a month, a little over a month that I've been here, and I've moved 5 times. So I feel like all of this is happening because eventually you're just like, okay, here we go. And you just pack your things and you just move to the next thing. You just get so used to it that you don't react. It's not a big deal anymore. The trust is there. The trust is there. And so if you would have asked me a year ago, where do I think I would be at this point? I would have said, oh, I would have, found an apartment in Paris, and then I would get my cat. I even thought this when I first arrived in Paris. And now there's just the space of inspired, like so much inspired wisdom that is flowing through me right now is so gorgeous. It's so enlightened. It's so expansive. There's so many things that are happening within me that I don't know what all of this is going to look like out there, but I know what it feels like in here, and it feels like freedom. And that's all I've ever wanted. I think that's all we've ever wanted. So, like, here we go. Like, tomorrow, I don't know, but I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of this moment right now because it feels amazing. It feels amazing. It feels amazing. And so I will just tell you, it's worth it. All of it's worth it. And just keep experimenting with your life. Make life your adventure, right? And be fearless. And I'm sending you all so much love. I don't know. Where's next? Where am I headed next? Where's Charlene headed next? We don't know.